We need to talk. This is not the kind of video I ever thought I'd make, nor is this the tone I like to have on this channel, but I feel like I have to say something. Now, if you have no idea what COPPA or the FTC stands for, I'm going to drop a bunch of links in the description down below that I urge you to check out, including but not limited to a video that Marcus put up on this topic last night. That was really good, and he touched on a lot of good points for how this potentially relates to AuthorTube and potentially to your channel, to my channel, to his own channel. But there were some things that he left out that I feel a need to speak up on and voice my opinion on, because I have very, very strong feelings about this and I want to make this video. Also, just as an FYI throughout this video, I'm going to use parents as an umbrella term. I understand that not every child lives with their parents, but I'm using parents as an umbrella term again for parental figure, legal guardian, parent, all that, because it makes it a lot easier to just use the one term. Now, with the new COPPA guidelines, there might be some changes that you have to make in your videos, and that affects AuthorTube just as it affects all of YouTube. For those of you who don't know, FTC stands for the Federal Trade Commission, and COPPA is the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, COPPA. This law acts to ensure that children, people under the age of 13, are essentially protected online. And YouTube, for being a platform that has a general audience, including viewers under the age of 13, they have to make some changes to how their site is run. And I am in no way here to say that this is a bad thing. I obviously think that children should be kept safe online and off, but there are problems with COPPA and the way it is being enforced. One of the problems with COPPA is that it's actually very vague as to what the new rules entail. A direct quote from the FTC website, I'm going to have to read it off my notes here, says, "The FTC looks at a variety of factors to see if a site or service is directed to children under 13, including the subject matter of the site or service, visual or audio content, the use of animated characters or other child-oriented activities, and incentives, the age of models, the presence of child celebrities or celebrities who appeal to kids, ads on the site or service that are directed to children, and other reliable evidence about the age of the actual or intended audience." End quote. Now, a problem with this is that some of the things listed in this quote, as well as some things that weren't listed but that YouTube is implementing, is that anything can appeal to children. You're basically not allowed to use stories or characters or language that can appeal to children. And the problem is, who is to decide what appeals to children? Children can be appealed to anything. They can be appealed to you having a plushie in the background, or here's my cat, or I'm wearing a blue shirt. Any of that can be appealing to a child. And who's to say what children on an overarching level are attracted to? The problem is that it's not down to the creator. The problem is that the FTC gets to decide this. So me as a creator might think that this backdrop with just books and a unicorn mug and a typewriter, that is not child appealing because these are just books. But the FTC can come at me and say that, well, somewhere along here you have a kid book, which is true. I have some children's books right here, but you can't really see them. That can be something that hits me. That can be how I'm targeted by this. And if the FTC decides that your content is appealing to children and you said that it isn't, you can be hit with a pretty big fine. You can be hit with a fine of over $42,000 US per video. That's insane. And the problem is that I can't decide what a child is attracted to, nor can the FTC. It's such an individual thing. Some children will think that this unicorn mug is the cutest thing they've ever seen and want to watch my videos because I put that in the background, even though the subject matter of the video might not be appealing to children. That can happen. And I don't know where the line is drawn. It is very unclear. If I am to have a Mickey Mouse plushie standing behind me, which is like the most recognizable feature of Disney, and Disney technically is child appealing, but they also do adult stuff, and you know, if I am to have that Mickey Mouse statue standing behind me, but I curse in my video, or I drink a glass of wine, or I talk about sex, is that video child appealing simply because I have a Mickey Mouse statue or plushie in the background, which may or may not be featured in my thumbnail, which may or may not be the reason someone clicks on my video? It is so incredibly vague at this point, and it's terrifying, and a lot of people are freaking out about this. It is also stated on the FTC website that COPPA puts parents in control. But is it? Because part of the problem seems to be that websites such as YouTube gathers information about their users, which they're not allowed to do if the user's under the age of 13. And if this information is gathered, the parents have a right to know, and the parents have a right to ask you to delete that information. That is also something that is covered under COPPA. However, we creators don't typically gather that information. I guess if I was to ask my viewers to comment how old they are in the comments, that in a way is me gathering information, but that's not something I typically tend to do. And we're talking about personal information here. The problem is that YouTube is gathering this information, but we, the creators, are being punished and will potentially have to pay a pretty hefty fine. A fine I'd like to imagine that very few of us would be able to afford. And you can, of course, if you get a strike, if the FTC or YouTube decides that you are not abiding by COPPA and they give you a strike, you can appeal this. You can ask them to reevaluate. But what's to say that you'll win? You're one person against a company or another big structure of people, and they don't want to be the one to get blamed for children potentially seeing or hearing something that they shouldn't, so it's much easier to put it on the individual creator. I understand it is easier for YouTube to outsource it to its creators, but it doesn't really feel fair to me. And what grinds my gears the most is that it's not up to me, the creator, to make sure that my content is kid-friendly. It's up to the parents to know and figure out what their children are watching and take actions if they think that's inappropriate for them. At the end of the day, I want to argue that it's on the parents to protect their children. And while I understand and recognize that children have and probably always will do things that they probably shouldn't, be it online or offline, it's not up to me to keep track of what those kids do. If the parents are concerned about what their kids are doing or being exposed to on the internet or off the internet, it's up to them to take the appropriate actions to make sure that those kids don't see those things. And if we step out of the YouTube bubble for a second, it is up to parents to set curfews and bedtime hours and make sure that their kids don't watch scary movies on TV. That's up to parents. So why is this, what they watch on YouTube, being outsourced to us? And I understand that kids do what kids do, but if you as a parent can't verbally dissuade your child from watching things that you find inappropriate, there are other measures you can take. You can use the YouTube Kids app, which allows you to block certain channels and put a timer for how long your kid can watch stuff. And if you find something on there that you find inappropriate, you can report it and it will be taken off YouTube Kids. And outside of that, you as a parent can block certain sites on whatever browser you're using, on whatever device that you're using, be it a computer or an iPad. And I understand and I recognize that kids today are very, very good at technology, more so than any previous generation. And yes, they might be able to somehow get around that child lock you put on your browser, but should that punish us, the creators? Now, I personally don't make videos that are geared towards children, nor do I think that they are bad for kids. I make videos primarily about my writing journey, about writing advice, about how my writing is going, with other things sprinkled in as well. Do I think that that's necessarily child appealing? No, but I'm not the person to make that distinction. Kids can like writing. I liked writing long before I was a 13-year-old, and had I had access to YouTube at that point and come across the fact that there were AuthorTube videos on YouTube, sign me the hell up. I probably would have been all over that. And in my videos, I occasionally swear. I've done that a couple times already in this video. I occasionally swear, I'll talk about how I've just written a sex scene in my book, but that's because I'm sharing my writing journey. And my writing journey in and of itself is not inappropriate for children. I am sharing tips and tricks on writing and my own journey in using these things to tell my stories. That might appeal to children. I don't know. But say, for example, that my verbal content, the words I'm sharing, aren't appealing to children. Not that I'm using very complex language, but maybe I curse and that automatically strikes me as not appropriate for children. Great. But again, if I have something in the background of my video, or I'm wearing a shirt with Mickey Mouse on it, does that mean that my content is automatically appealing to children and cancels out the fact that I've just been swearing? Which one of these weighs the most? Which one of these outdoes the other? And if the truth is that if you have something in your background or on your person that is child appealing and that can only be cancelled out by you talking about something that isn't child appealing or doing something that isn't child appealing. So I'm thinking drinking alcohol or talking about sex or cursing, for example. I don't want to have to curse in my videos to not be seen as child appealing. And again, it's up to the children what they find appealing. And I can't say what they will find appealing. They might think that this is great and they'd want to watch hours of this, but I'm not making my videos to appeal to children. And the COPPA updates are so vague. I don't personally care if my viewers are 7 or 17 or 23 or 93. And I understand that I am responsible for the content that I put out there. But if it's unfit for children and parents are letting their kids onto this site, then I feel like it's up to the parents to manage what their kids do online. Now, if you're a creator on YouTube right now, you will probably have seen the pop-up where you either have to say that your whole channel or individual videos are appropriate or non-appropriate for children. For now, I have set mine as not appropriate for children, which means that my comment section stuff is still active, but I've not set that my channel is for 18 plus only, because there are two separate things you can do. Because I don't think that this is necessarily for 18 plus only. There is no nudity. I don't talk about sex in a detailed manner. I don't do several things that I could consider bad for kids. But yes, like I said, I have for now put my content as not appealing to children, but I've not set my channel to be 18 plus only. And if I am to set it at 18 plus only, that comes with its own number of potential issues as well when it comes to ads and stuff, which I'm going to talk about that later. I'm not monetized, but we'll talk about that later. Then again though, if I were to put it at 18 plus only, anyone can claim to be over 18 on the internet. Now, if it is YouTube's responsibility to protect their viewers, and in this case particularly children, there are things that they could do. There are and have been bad things happening on this site probably since about the start of it. I'm not going to get into detail about this stuff, but there are people out there who seek out children to get in contact with them, and bad things can occur. And if that is where the concern lies, which I know is not 100% the case, there are other things that YouTube could do. An example would be to make it so that all comments that are being left on all videos on the entire site have to be approved by the creator before the comment goes live and is visible in the comment section, so before it's visible to other people. This would be a hassle and it wouldn't solve the entire problem, but it's a potential step in the right direction. And it would be a hassle, but I think that would be more manageable for the creators than these vague rules that we're getting right now. Or YouTube could have actual people reviewing the content that is posted under certain tags if those tags seem to be targeted by certain types of people. That's also a potential solution. Or instead of removing the comment sections and the end screens and the notifications from the creator's side, so that I as a creator might lose my comment section because the FTC or YouTube decides that my channel is child appealing, instead of me losing that, maybe making it so that people who are under the age of 13, which is the age that we're talking about in this video, can't comment. They can't see the comment section. And again, anyone can lie about their age on the internet, but if someone goes through all the trouble of setting up a fake account with a fake age on it, why am I to be punished for this? You could also extend this further by making it so that you, when you make an account on YouTube or Google, and you say that you're over the age of 13 or 18, you have to verify that. You have to verify that by sending in a copy of your passport, or here in Sweden we have something called a bank ID, so we can do our online banking. And that's basically an online ID that we have tied to our social security numbers that only we can use, and we have a code for it. That's also an option. And make it so that when that information has been received by YouTube or Google, they will agree that you are over the age of 18, and they will tick a little box which makes it so that you can leave comments and get notifications and what are the things that they are removing, and then destroy the evidence of the copy of the passport or whatever else that you sent in. This of course comes with its own set of problems. Would they actually delete the information? Can I trust that they would do it? Is it safe to send it online? And so on. But that's an option. Now, I personally am not monetized. I have a small channel. I have about 400 subscribers as of me making this video. But the thing is that this isn't just targeting larger channels. This is targeting everyone. And there are people, big or small, on YouTube who has this as their whole income or part of their income. And anyone can get struck by this. Am I speaking up simply because this will also affect me? Partly because of course I want my experience on this site to be as smooth as possible. But I think it's a bigger issue, and I think it's something that we as a community, and then I both mean AuthorTube and YouTube as a whole, need to talk about and be aware of. Now perhaps you're sitting there going, what can I do about this? Is there a point to even trying to do anything? And like I said, I will have some links in the description down below. Some go to other videos, one by Marcus, one by Nick Nimmin, and a whole playlist of other videos you can watch to get more information about this. But I'll also have a link to a petition and a way that you can send comments straight to the FTC. This is something that they have set up, and they want these comments to review them and see what changes they can make. Now again, this isn't a very fun video for me to put out there. I am not happy to be making this, but I feel a need to speak up about it, and I would love to hear your opinions in the comments down below, because when I first heard about this, I thought it was fine. I thought I wouldn't be affected because I don't make videos geared towards children. But the more I've heard about it and the vaguer it seems, I'm getting scared. And I'm worried what it's going to mean for my channel in the future, as well as several of the channels that I really like and follow. So feel free to share with me down below what your concerns and feelings and thoughts on this is. And also please sign the petition and leave a comment for the FTC, because if you're concerned about this, this is our chance to speak up and hopefully make some sort of change happen. Anyway, that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back with another video soon, so I'll see you then. Bye.